You spent a few years there with Bill Belichick. Are you guys taught to be boring after games, Rodney? Here?
Just, you know what, Dan, it's just about being humble, staying focused, and really taking the one game, learning from it, you know, and really 24 hours later, man, forgetting about it, learn from it, and move forward to the next one.
But you're programmed that way. Everybody, you know, when Wes Welker made fun of Rex Ryan, you know, he got spanked by the team. It's rare when somebody speaks out of turn there.
Yeah, and I think what happens is you take the tone of your head coach, and we see the example of it with the New York Jets. And when your coach is loud and he's boisterous and you know he's very animated, the players tend to follow that. But when you have a coach that's strictly business, and you really don't get a chance to see that other side of Bill that we see in the meetings, his laughter, the jokes, and just his personality. But really, he's a really fun coach to play for. Obviously, he's not going to give the media anything that they could take and run with, and he's a very smart coach. So he knows everything that he puts out there. He knows what he wants to do. He's trying to dictate how you guys perceive it.
But tell me how you know he's really smart. Now, I know he's got a great resume here, but as a guy who played for Belichick, what does he do where you go, wow?
Well, it's just everything that he tells you, and then you do it. You come back and watch on film, and it's like, wow, it works. You know, it's just like the example that we saw all weekend, situational football. You know, how do you, if you're Raheem Moore, the safety for Denver, how do you let a guy get behind you and you're playing a cover two in a situation like that? You protect the sidelines and you stay deeper than the deepest. It doesn't get any simpler than that. It's situational football, and it cost a lot of people games. No different than Seattle. They had the game won, but yet you give up the middle. Tony Gonzalez. People tend to overthink football. Just stick to the fundamentals, the basics, and don't try to come up with these elaborate, these fancy schemes. Sometimes just stick to the basics.
But how does that happen with a defensive back? In cover two, you don't let anybody behind you.
You know, point blank, Dan, he was trying to be the hero. He wanted to be the guy that says, you know what, I intercepted and I won the game for us, which was stupid, which was dumb, and he's kicking himself in the butt. And that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be the hero instead of just sitting back 30, 40 yards and not let anyone get behind you. Just get deeper than the deepest. If the man catches the ball, tackle him inbounds, and the clock eventually will run out. But everyone wants to be the hero because that's what they see. They see these guys. And we talk about it all the time in the studio, Dan, when a guy makes a simple tackle, he gets up, he starts pounding his chest, he celebrates, and you're saying, why the heck does these guys celebrate over just a normal tackle? It's no different than what guys want to do. They want to be the guy that wins the game for the team.
All right, you go into these games this next weekend. You got Baltimore and New England again. And we've seen that Baltimore does have the blueprint here. Their defense isn't as intimidating. But how does Baltimore win this game in New England?
And you know, the funny part about that, you say that, and Dean Pease, the defensive coordinator, he was a guy that coached several years over in New England. So he knows Brady. He knows this offense. He's coached against it. He knows how to defend it. And really, if you're the Ravens, you don't care. Like, you know you can beat the Patriots. You know you should have won that game last week. So they come in here with a ton of confidence. They can beat the Patriots. Obviously, they have to play really well. They're going to have to put up some points on offense, and they have to do a lot of right things. But, man, if you could put pressure on Brady, jam and beat up these receivers, they can go in New England and stun them.
Wes Welker, I mean, it's amazing, but do we overrate his value here with this team?
No, you don't, Dan. And I tell you, man, I played with Wes. I had to defend Wes when he was in the slot, man-to-man zone. It doesn't matter. Wes Welker, let me tell you something. We don't give Wes Welker enough props. Do you see the type of licks that he takes each and every man? Understand, he's a 5'6", 5'7" guy, and he's not fast. Now, he's extremely quick, and I think we don't appreciate his route running, his toughness, and what he brings. If there's no Wes Welker, I tell you, the Patriots probably wouldn't have gone to those last a couple Super Bowls.
And you got Gronkowski now out for the rest of the season, re-breaking that for him. They do average more points without him than with him.
Hey, Dan, remember we talked about in the Super Bowl, we were standing right there by Tom Brady's locker, and I told you, I said, you know what, I'm more afraid of Aaron Hernandez than Rob Gronkowski, and I know everyone looks at me and they say, how can you say that? And yes, he's a touchdown scoring machine, but Aaron Hernandez, he's another wide receiver. He can line up in the backfield. You can split him out wide. He can do so many dynamic things, and that's what And really, if you're Belichick, he's saying, wow, okay, we don't have Rob, but we do have Aaron, and he's a complete mismatch.
He's Rodney Harrison from Football Night in America joining us. You live in Atlanta. You've been a naysayer against the Falcons, and here they are in the NFC title game. How much confidence do you have against the 49ers?
Dan, first of all, they're killing me out here on the radio station. And, the funny part about it is, look, all I said is, look, if I'm a team, I'm not afraid to go to Atlanta and play. Seattle didn't look like they were afraid to play. Obviously, they made some mistakes. They're a young team, but who's afraid to go to Atlanta? I don't think anyone is. But yet and still, because of Seattle's travel schedule, I did pick Atlanta to win. I picked Atlanta to win on the radio show. But at the end of the day, you know what? It's not good enough just to get to the NFC Championship game. I believe in order to have a successful season, you have to at least get to the Super Bowl. Now, if they come out and they play the way they played defensively against the 49ers, they will be at home, probably next to us, watching the game as well. But you got to give them a lot of credit. They played with heart. They made the necessary plays at the end, but they have to play better defensively.
Can we tell the story in the Super Bowl now?
I don't think you can right now. You just never know what happens.
No. You in the Super Bowl.
What's the story?
Against the Giants. Plexico Burress. Final play, touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know what? Let me take a break because I don't think anybody's ever heard this story. And Rodney was there and the coverage with the Patriots, and you had the game on the line. We'll come back and let him tell the story of what was going on during that final play where Eli Manning threw the touchdown pass to Plexico Burress. We'll continue with Rodney Harrison from Football Night in America next on the Dan Patrick Show.